welcome to
A View from the Sip.
I'm Stephanie Bundle with Lifestyle Education and Resource Services, and we are here with
J Structure, celebrity beauty influencer.
And Carol Redfield Mims with Support Ed Mississippi.
Awesome.
Right. It is such a blessing to be here today. And Dr. J will be joining us shortly. But she said, go ahead and dive into the subject matter. So you know what I'm about to talk about, what Jay is going to be talking about. Passion at the inauguration. They were cleaner than the Board of Health. That's what my daddy used to say. They were cleaner than the Board of Health. What do you guys think? I mean, it was so inspired.
For me, it was a fashionable inauguration. Yes, it was. It showed so much diversity. This new administration have me so excited. I don't know what to do. Like it's a joy to see this new administration and to see how in the midst of the evil doing, how graceful things came together and how graceful and so much poised the inauguration was. So I take my hats off to those planners for the inauguration. I take my hats off to everyone who participated and played a part. But we definitely going to talk about fashion. We know we're going to start a View from the Sip out like that, but we're going to start out with the fashion thing tonight. So first of all, I have to say kudos to our Vice President, Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Great decision, wonderful decision. I'm so excited that she chose an African American designer, a queer designer, an American designer, and that designer goes by the name of Christopher John Rogers. Oh, that beautiful inauguration piece was awesome. That our vice president wore. She was absolutely stunning. I'm just excited about it. Kudos to Christopher John Rogers. Great job to you. And thank you, Kamala Harris, for choosing an American designer, African American designer, queer designer. Yes, I take my hats off to her. We cannot forget still our first lady, none other than Michelle Obama. Yes, Michelle Obama, she was sporting a Sergio Hudson's design, which was impeccable. The pants and the jacket, that was just awesome. Hair flowing in the wind, just an impeccable look. So kudos to her whole team, her hairstylist, makeup artist, designer, just awesome. How dare I leave out Dr. Biden? She was looking absolutely stunning in her blue as well, and her little sparkly tweed, which was awesome. I didn't get a chance to catch her designer. However, still kudos off to her designer as well. They put together a really, really great look for the inauguration. Also, for the formal event of the inauguration, Kamala Harris also was seen wearing Sergio Hudson as well, who is also another American designer. So she sported two African American designers for the inauguration. Christopher John Rogers, who's new and up and coming, and Sergio Hudson, who has, kind of been in the game for a minute, which is also Michelle Obama's designer. So, if only I could have had those brushes to stroke across their faces. No, but their makeup and everything was impeccable. Everything was flawless. It was everything with poise, style, and grace. I mean, it was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, and Lady Gaga. I have to talk about Lady Gaga and her, I call ensemble. I have to say ensemble. Lady Gaga was, of course, a fashion statement as always. Lady Gaga is going to always be a fashion statement. When I heard that she would be participating in the inauguration, my first thought was, what is she going to have on? And people, as you can see, you know, the blogs and the internet and stuff kind of went in a little uproar, saying that she really, really resembled the Hunger Games with this look and all of that. But fashion is fashion, and I thought it was absolutely stunning and wonderful. Her designer dressed her for this. I want to pronounce his name right. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Shai Parali. That may be wrong. I mean, if it is, correct me, somebody, and I said correct later. But yeah, the designer, that was her designer, and Hunger Games, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was impeccable. It was awesome. She looked great. Fashionable, fashion forward for me. So that's all I really have on fashion. There were some other great looks too. Like Kamala's, I think they were her nieces, her great nieces, had on their little and looked like Carl is kind of wearing the same thing tonight on the show. Was wearing their little cheetah print jackets and stuff, their little peak coat. That was so cute. That was so adorable. I really, really loved that. That was awesome. Yeah, they were really, really awesome. And we can't forget the mittens. We can't forget Bernie. We can't forget Bernie and the mittens. Like those mittens has taken over, like went viral like crazy. Bernie showed up with the mittens. My hands will not freeze. They will not be cold. Not gloves, but mittens. You know, so hey, Bernie was like, it's the inauguration. I'm here. Woo woo. Now let's go. So what do you guys think about what do you think about some of the fashion that went on, Carol? Did you like anything?
I was simply impressed with the purple and what it stands for.
Absolutely, Carol.
Yeah, that purple just stood out to me. As you said, with the fashion designer, I was really interested in learning that he came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he is African American and queer. So that was like a 2 thumbs up for me. But just the whole thing, the structure of it, all of the people with the clothing, and it just gave me a sense of just something new is going to happen. Never before in history has anyone ever just taken time to kind of describe the fashion and the design, especially for inauguration. You know, we talked about the dance, you know, last time with definitely with Beyonce singing, but Lady Gaga, she stood out, y'all. You know, usually her stuff is so far out there, and just man, that dress was amazing. I don't know the designer of it, but she looked really well in it. Obama and that walk. And so I called a beautician and I said, when I tell you I want to sew in, I want that hair right there. Okay. I don't want anything else, but that hair was flawless. Yes. And she walked in there, and I believe every hair on my arm stood up just because, man, that head was held high and that strut across that floor. Can I have that, please? Right. Yeah, so everything about it just resembled power, and I can be expressive of my own self without judgment, and that we're going into this thing together. And so it was just amazing just to see it. Definitely something that I know that people will try to compare moving forward in future runs, but this was something for the books.
I think it was so needed. And let me just say, I know that they were intentional and it had to be planned because I think the purple is a combination of the red and the blue. So you got the Democrat and you got the Republican, and then she brought it together with that purple, which represented coming across the aisles, and that unity that Biden spoke of. And I'm just going to speak of J-Lo because I just think she's a sharp lady. She wore straight out white with no shame. That was like the power of a woman. It represents subtly the woman's movement, but not blatantly, but blatantly at the same time, because she came out with just straight white. And it was just impeccable. I mean, she represented and she spoke her own language, when she came, after she sang. And I could really appreciate that. Purple does stand for unity. I think blue stands for peace, and it just seems so intentional, in the message that they were conveying, and it was just stellar in its appearance, and I believe that it warrants the conversation. Michelle Obama had said in an interview that, although people shouldn't judge or try to describe people by what they see, but they do. And so we represent, and I believe that they represent it impeccably. Let me just say something about Lady Gaga as well. The bird on her chest, which was, warring a little conversation. I think it's a bird that carries the olive branch. It carries the peace olive branch. And she was intentional about the bird, the size, and it did convey a message. Though I hear that, people think it looked a little gaudy, but she was that's Lady Gaga being herself, and she conveyed the message that she wanted to convey. So it was, like you said, it was spectacular.
I love the fact that it was gaudy. It was gaudy, beautiful, and fashionable, and it was at 2021's inauguration.
Okay.
Enough said. Hashtag enough said. It speaks for itself. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. I want to piggyback off of you too, Stephanie. For J-Lo, in my time, maybe I missed something, but during the inauguration, I've never known someone of another, just say culture or descent, to sing the national anthem and to sing in their own language as well as American, as English and English. So that for me was impeccable. That says a lot, and it was intentional. When you think of the Hispanic and Latino, the brown people that have been fairly unjust, here in America within these last 4 years, to have her to sing that particular song and to speak in that particular language was very intentional. It was very, 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 very amazing. And there was a lot of thought went into this inauguration. It wasn't just a typical inauguration, even with Michelle and Barack and Michelle's inauguration, it was great, but this inauguration has been the inauguration of all times. Would you look at three powerful women, and absolutely. Two of them are black, and two of them are black. I've always said that America needed their mother in the White House. I've always said that, as long as I can remember. I just feel like America need mama around. So,
well, absolutely. I was thinking too. These women represented, like you said, all of the inauguration represented the United States of America. It was inclusive. There was a variety, and they came with it first class. Everything from the mittens to the coats to the colors to the voices to the message. Just everything was representative of the United States of America. And now I'm going to go into that speech, that poem, The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. Start with you, Carol. Just what are your thoughts on that? It blew me away. Your mic's off.
It blew me away. The yellow, and I was just up here daydreaming about what you said about colors and intentional colors. That is, if you think about the colors of the chakra, what yellow means is I do, and what red means is I am, and purple means unity. And so indigo means I see you. Okay. And so her speech, I can just take it and dissect it and tear it apart. But it's one in there saying that even though we've been through, and I might not be exactly saying it right, we understand that there's still more work to do. But we do need to take a minute and inhale this victory, because it is just that. And I know for some people I've seen that just don't think it is, but it is. And in the intention behind the work as an organizer, and I know all of you all know, because I know that you're an organizer, and both of you are, whether you think you are or not, is just we don't get a chance to see the work. Sometimes it takes years, but every little bit counts. And so now she said we have hope. And that's the dream of every organizer. It's not to burn out, but just to keep pushing and have hope to keep pushing. And even befitting for the time, I think that little piece in there reminds me of Martin Luther King and all of the work he did. He never got a chance to see it manifest. It only manifests after his death. And so many times people who do the work and push the work forward, especially for disproportionate people, we rarely do get a chance to see our fruits come to fruition. So this is a time that we can really just sit back and not just take a break, because that's not what it is. The work is ongoing, but this is a victory. And her standing there with that yellow pea coat on, expressing herself and her color, the color of her melanin and her skin, representing someone who looks like me and my daughter that we rarely get a chance to see, just was super amazing. And it gave so many hope to so many little ones who don't ever hardly get a chance to see themselves reflected in such high regards. So again, I just think the whole enactment of it all, for us to see a win when, for the past 4 years, it has been unbearing. So, yeah, I can't even explain what this feels like. I know the work, like I said, has to go forth, and there's much work to be done, especially with systematic racism in policy. I know that work has to be done, but this gives me hope to understand that, the work can be done. So, like I said, it's just I'm at all, and I'm ready, to get back to work. I'm ready for my feet to be on the ground. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Structure.
For me, this poem and this young lady was a breath of fresh air. Yeah. It was just a breath of fresh air. All you could say was, just take a deep breath and let it out. One thing about this, I kind of had the same feeling that I had when Disney decided to have a black princess with the Princess and the Frog. And I mean, I had such a warm feeling about it. Like, okay, well, you're finally getting it. There are black princesses too. Thank you. But the young ladies, her oral communication skills, the way that she delivered this poem, you could tell that everything about it was innate. You could tell that she knew her time, and she knew her place. and it was impeccable. I teared up a little bit, during her poem, and I was like, "OMG, I'm so sentimental right now." But this young lady represents exactly what our young Black girls need to see, and that's my strong opinion. I think she's a great representation of what girls of her color should see and wants to see. I mean, just a smile on her face, her body language. She commanded that podium. Everything. From a professional standpoint and just a groovy poet standpoint, it was impeccable. She was awesome. Great.
For me, I saw in her little body, in her gigantic words, the spirit of Maya Angelou and poets that came before her, carrying on the strong tradition of representing who we are as a people, our inclusiveness from the top to the bottom, that the inauguration day should be a celebration of representation, of leadership, of creativity and art, and this time art and fashion in the form of art. Even in the performances, the variety of performances. In the face of COVID, we could not celebrate more. But we know we have a work ahead of us, but like we're doing right now, sometimes you have to stop in the midst of the chaos and take time to celebrate the blessing in the moment. And that's what that inauguration did for me. It surprised me because I knew that we had some stuff going on. So when I went to watch it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna watch it. We got to fight ahead, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I was swept away. And I'm just going to tell you, when Michelle Obama entered the room, I was going, I need to get up off this couch. I need to go run a block. I need to go and lift some weights. I'm like, she's my peer. She was absolutely beautiful. And I know that little girls were looking at her and going, hey, that can be me. And they were looking at Miss Gorman and saying, hey, that could be me. And they were looking at Vice President Harris and going, hey, that could be me. This is a first. So yes, we stopped to take stock of all that. And that is what made this inauguration so inspiring and so incredible. Oh, welcome to the room, Dr. J. And that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, y'all doing so good. I'm just here to peek in. Hey, I've been busy working, trying to, set some things up for us. But hey, y'all look good.
Oh, thanks.
Fashions, baby. Yes, I love it. They came through and showed out.
They did. How about who wasn't there? Okay, I just got to turn that corner just a little bit. About who did you see and who didn't you see? What you think?
We saw everybody we wanted to see.
And that's the truth.
I never had a little lamp. Jay, I'm not about to play with you tonight. Oh, yeah.
I would like to say a piece.
I am the true captain.
I would like to say a piece of this poem that kind of touched my heart. I was looking for the words and I just figured it out. She said that even as we grieve, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tried, that even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. And I think I almost jumped up out of my chair because she
Yes.
said
That was
everything that we
powerful.
felt for the past 4 years. The incitement of
Powerful.
racism, the constant, I mean, many people that I kind of just really looked up to, just really disappointed me over the last 4 years. That I would never thought I would be in a position to look at them that way. But even in all of that, you know, that the day of the inauguration, it showed me that we still grew. That I was amazed at how well that I stayed in my place, even when they were fighting on the Capitol. That was not my fight. It made me appreciate the fight that we fight every day, and that's the good fight. And you know, I'll never take for granted again marching in the street or just standing up for what we really believe in, because we do it in a manner that's respectful. And it just made me prouder to be that melanin Black woman or that melanin Black queen. So it made me just proud because we don't do stuff like that. So it was just amazing.
Well, I was thinking, go ahead, Dr. J.
I'm just saying powerful.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I developed an outlook of hope after that day, and I thought, okay, I'm ready. What's the agenda? Can I be helpful and useful? So what is your outlook? And anybody can share. I'm asking, you know, I'm the question asker. What is as a result of what you've seen now, has your outlook about where we're going now, has it changed? Are you strengthening up for the fight, or are you optimistic and you're going to go tiptoe through the tulips, or are you going to go where the money resides, where the money resides, where the money resides? I don't know. You know, where you going? What's going to be? How you feeling about that?
I'm going where the money resides, where the money resides. I'm going where it resides, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yes. Yes, yes. But it was my whole emotional state during the inauguration and even to this point has been joyful, overjoyed. It has been encouraging. It has been a breath of fresh air, as I said before. You know, it has given me an extra push. It has given me the extra push. Hey, in spite of, go. In spite of, do. In spite of, you can. In spite of, you will. So I'm just, I'm going head first. I mean, there aren't any limits. There aren't any limits, you know, and the inclusiveness and unity, that has been something that I have proud myself on with anything that I'm involved with and do. If there is not unity and if it's not inclusive, I really don't care to be a part of it, because everybody has a story. Everybody has a point of view, you know, and it's just a matter of us being able to accept whether we agree or disagree and keep it moving, you know, and just be respectful about things. So as for who was not in attendance, wasn't supposed to be in attendance. It wasn't designed for them to be in attendance. So as Dr. J said, who was there was supposed to be there. Who we saw was who we were supposed to see. Even in the planned disruption, they were not able to disrupt anything. Goodbye, good riddance. And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit on fashion, because we know that fashion and colors do represent a lot of things. So in those that were not there, if you would have paid attention to the fashion of the lady that once resided in the White House with the guy that resided there, if you paid attention to what she had on as they departed, and as he ran his mouth wherever it was that he went, if you noticed her attire, and her look, it was very, very, it was full of sorrow. It was full of sadness. It was full of depression. She wore all black with black shades and her hair pulled back in a bun. Graveside is all I saw in that. That was her fashion statement in their departure. And I want to say absolutely buried. Thanks. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. And I cheer to that.
I saw an excellent, it seemed like it when in the beginning, it felt like a sacred tradition was breaking or was being broken because we would not have the traditional peaceful power. But that inauguration went so well.
Yes.
That's all about the tradition, and I was awed by what was being presented.
Going on.
And I'm going, wow, because it didn't bother me. I'm going, how could we have gotten to a place where there's such a breaking of the peaceful transition of power to the next president, like we've always done? But do you know the power of carry on? We saw the power of we carry on, and we carry on with class. And I just thought that just really painted a beautiful picture of the outlook that we can have, that we will rise up, that we will move ahead, that we will take on the challenges before us. And so the question that we're answering today is, what's your outlook as a result of what you saw on Inauguration Day? What's your outlook? Want to welcome Dr. Just say hi to her. Glad that you joined us this evening, but that's a conversation for Carol and Dr. Allen and Dr. J.
Well, I want to say that I'm excited about this third article that Congress delivered, that the House delivered to the Senate. Impeachment, baby. That's the word of the day. Impeachment. Anytime you hear the word impeachment, we're going to go ahead and take a drink.
From that
impeachment party, baby. I'm ready.
Well, I want you to pray for the guy, pray for the man that, what's his name? He got sick today. He is supposed to be presiding over,
Eugene.
The presiding over the impeachment. He got sick today.
Oh.
So out of an abundance of caution, he went to the hospital, but he got to February 9th to get well because that's when the hearings start. So they didn't specify what his problem was or what kind of illness he had, but they said they would just take caution and he's a Democrat. And it's 50-50, the House is 50-50, and we need him to stay well. We need him to stay well, Of course.
Sounds fishy. Sounds fishy.
This trial gonna happen.
Sounds fishy.
Regardless. But I want people to know that this is the fourth time that an impeachment trial has happened. And this is the first time that a president has been impeached after.
Twice. And after.
Twice. Twice.
He
broke all the records.
Should be, because I don't want my little tax money to be paying for, Secret Service and every other thing else that you awarded after being president. No. Hell no. See, then I've been tried to, figure out a way not to pay taxes. I'd be like him. I don't think that is, as they say, copacetic. It ain't kosher. For him to receive any type of anything, go sit down.
I find it
somewhere.
Unbelievable. I find it unbelievable that they are in such debate. The man caused he incited an insurrection, and why are we still debating? But that lets us know the hill that we must climb, that we are we are not at the top of this hill, and we must garner up the energy, the strength, the unity to climb this hill, because we are, to me, facing a formidable foe of recognizable size. And one thing that this last president, before President Biden, let me know that we have that there are more enemies out there than I thought, and he feels that. So
let me read what Brother Samuel posted here. He said, we see how the powers that be uses a black face in a high place to hide behind and neutralize black people, as in with President Obama. What do we learn from our mental excitement in the first term and examination to pass his second term examination, so we could continue to strive as a people and not hold back to sleep? They're supposed to go back to sleep. So continue to make tangible change. Well,
that's a big.
Obama really couldn't do what we needed him to do because of, he didn't have power of the Senate, and I don't think we had the House either. So you really need, when they say the different branches, most people don't understand. If you don't have people in the Senate and the House to support you, whoever sits in that executive seat, it's not much they can do. And for the first time in history, the Democrats have power in the executive branch, the legislative branch. I'm about to say the judicial branch, but now we don't have the judicial branch. So we in both branches.
I think that, and speaking on terms of the community, you can't try to bake a perfect cake in a broken oven. You can put a cake, you can try to have all the best ingredients, but if the oven broke, the cake ain't gonna bake. And the oven is our system, the system of white supremacy in this country, the very foundation, the very principles on which this country was created, and the very methodology that was enacted in the beginning. Obama couldn't just take all that on himself. He did, what he could do quite a bit, but he can't say that. We, the people, have to come together. And I do agree with him. And we can't go back, and we can't rest easy. We must stay active.
I wondered if he would reply to it. I've heard that statement, especially on my wall. I've read it from several people who are really just not excited about our inauguration or anything that uses black faces. And I often see them say that we are being mentally stimulated from that. Yeah, I get mentally stimulated for buying shoes. I mean, it's a way that I cope. However, though, we do know that this is a system that we've been fighting a lot longer than I have been living, and that it will take a lot more than what we're doing now to get to a point where we unwrite racist policies. And again, it takes time. That's nothing that you can do overnight. So my question to him is, how are people supposed to feel? That's what I would want to know. How are people supposed to feel? And then, two, if that's something that we shouldn't get comfortable with, what would be his suggestions for our next steps?
That's the
criticize.
Great question.
So, we just want to say, the people that's watching, we want to make you a part of the show. Definitely post your questions, comments below, so that we can read it. And again, hear what you have to say. We want feedback from you. So thank you all for participating.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
awesome.
So another thing about the inauguration?
No,
or the impeachment?
Honestly, the impeachment, I really don't want to talk about it. Impeachment, bottom line. Inauguration.
Conversation like we breaking up. It's over.
I'm still cheering for the inauguration, for the sworn in of Biden, Harris. I'm cheering with my Bethune-Cookman pom-pom.
Those my high school colors, maroon and gold.
Bethune, really? Well, these here are from Bethune-Cookman University. I have two of them.
State? How about Jackson State performing We Are One celebration? You know, and there was a couple of schools. I think Howard University and a couple other schools, you know, but Jackson State is the only one that matters, you know. But
yes, kudos to my alma mater. Yeah, JSU.
But to see
Tigers was in the house,
right? To see Jackson State on that stage and on a part of this administration was powerful.
Tiger pride.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my heart is full.
But you all see that the We Are One celebration, the day before the inauguration.
Did you all hear the military band playing "Hit the Road, Jack"?
You are kidding me. I love it. I love it.
You know what? I said, "Ooh, United States of America, y'all petty."
Yes, I love it.
Y'all petty.
It's been a petty time. It's been a little difficult to
Ooh, when I heard that, dun, 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 I said, "Oh, petty Betty."
Yeah, it's been 150 years since a president has skipped the inauguration. Like that says a lot about your character and where we are now.
Well, you wasn't a president in the first place, so hey, that's what I expect. You know, most children do that.
A reality TV star. We had a reality TV star posing as a president.
I can't even give him that much credit as a reality star.
They're worried about a third party being created in that person's name, you know, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And this is stimulating. The Republican Party is having a real time because it's splitting between Trumpism or whatever. And I think it's QAnon, and you got MAGA, and I meant to look that up. What is QAnon? Somebody look that up, because that's something. These are formidable threats to the Democrat and Republican. Just seems to be a fracture in the Republican Party. But, you know, what they're doing is getting away from the Constitution. So people are following this guy who walked away from a 150-year-old tradition. Quite a few people are following him. So.
Oh, so now you want to do away with the Constitution? Now you want to do away with the Constitution?
That's what it's always been. Every time we meet the mark, or meet whatever benchmark they set for us, they try to move the finish line. So it's always been like that for us, and we have to make sure people know what they're doing. And like I said again, I probably don't want to use the word happy when it was televised of what they did at the Capitol, because people need to see this. We've been living this. We've been telling them forever, and I'm glad people got to witness it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And in spite of all of that, Biden's been busy. He's been busy rescinding legislations and policies. He is about Okay, like
Well,
right
you what?
here, right here.
Walked in the door, ink pen in hand.
You're trying to get that stimulus money right. And, now they're debating the stimulus money that they debate. They said, well, we're going to change the eligibility. So it's speaking to what you said, Dr. J, is that now they're saying, well, we need to set up eligibility, those who really need it. I'm going, well, how are they going to determine that and how long is it going to take? But just wondering, healthcare, that we need the healthcare reform. He's looking at that. He's looking at the ban on different cultures and trying to rescind some of those bans so that they can start working on getting those children, who have come across the border back connected to their parents. He's just been busy. He's getting back on board with the global climate change initiatives. He's just doing so much, and so I feel like we got to do what we can to support those initiatives and those efforts.
And what's so great about this is that I already know what to do. I think that's the great thing about it. So he knew how to boots on the ground. He knew what needed to exactly be done going into this transition. Bam, get started. I don't have to wait. My first 90 days won't be a process of thinking, of fumbling around. My first 9 days already to be impeccable. Forget 90, So that's a great thing, and I think that was a great characteristic of that, him knowing what to do, going in. And I think that that in itself speaks volumes. Yeah.
So I just want to list some of the executive orders that Biden signed, and one was to stop the Keystone, which has been a controversial thing, the Keystone pipeline, and it was going through the indigenous land. And to see some of the Republicans posting that Biden is ending jobs and all this crazy stuff, they have no sense of just these people land, because they used to stealing land and putting their name on it. So another executive order, everybody must wear masks, and that should have been done. Let's see some of the other things that he's done. He signed an order to extend the federal non-discrimination against the LGBTQ community. I think that is absolutely cool. So Biden is off to a great start, and we just excited not to have a fool in the office. But hey, I do want us to talk about Trump pardon these people. Baby, you get a pardon, you get a pardon, and you get a pardon.
Creepy.
What y'all think about that? So it was Lil Wayne, Kwame Kilpatrick, his boy Steve Bannon that was on the list. Who else do y'all remember some of the people on the list? But Lil Wayne. Oh, and what's the other rapper name?
I have no clue. I haven't even paid any attention to that.
Oh, it was 143 people.
Good night.
143. Do you hear me? And I went to the page where they list why they was in jail. What you say, Karen?
Go look at their offenses.
Yes, on the page, it tells you what they went to jail for, what their charges were, and why they are granting them this clemency or whatever they was pardoned or whatever the correct term is. I didn't get one, no, whatever it was.
That is amazing.
So yeah, we got about 5 more minutes left in the show. What else y'all want to talk about?
Oh, I just want to say that, did any of you all know Stacey Smith? He graduated from Jackson State in 1997. He was an NBA news reporter. about 48 years old. He was a Jacksonian. I think he was from Mississippi, and I think he just died of COVID. I was wondering
he
if
passed of COVID, succumbed to COVID. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Young fella, about 48 years old. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody knew him. So we definitely need to stay vigilant, stay safe. You know, that is not over yet. Don't rest on your laurels. Be vigilant, be mindful. The Biden administration said that because there was no plan in place when he went in, he found out that there was no plan and there was not enough vaccine. Now he's trying to get vaccines because they weren't there. They were not there. They were not there. There wasn't enough. So the Biden administration is saying that there should be enough for everybody in this country by the end of summer. So definitely.
It's a track one.
Yeah, everybody's not gonna do it. So okay. But I'm just saying, you know, they're working on it. They're working to get it in here. But you know, if you stay healthy, stay mindful, stay conscious, it's not over. That there are a couple of strains that are here in this country, and we just have to take care of our health and be mindful and don't act like there's nothing going on. Leave it to the people that want to act like there's nothing going on. But those of us who know better, let's just continue to do better.
I do want everyone to know that the Tuglu family has lost a professor, Dr. Al DeBoer. He passed away. Yes, he passed away. His funeral arrangements are Friday, January 29th. And I just want people out there to know that, you know, take care of yourself, stay safe, stay healthy. And if you feel like you may be sick or anything, please go seek a physician. And I'm just praying for those who are a part of the Tuglu family, because myself, Dr. Carthan, and Stephanie Bondo, she's a part of the Tuglu family as well. So just note that we are all out here praying for Aldebar and his family.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
So you guys, any final words? You know, usually we go a little longer, but I done had a long day. I done had a long week, a long life. I'm so tired. I don't know what to do. But before I get you our final statement, I do want to, you know, give another shout out to Dr. Allen, to our next alderman in Byron, Mississippi. Alderman at large. So make sure you all tell your friends, text your friends that live in Byron and tell them to support Dr. Roshonda Harris Allen for Alderman at large. Booyah.
Thank you, Dr. J.
No problem.
And please follow me at Roshonda Harris Allen, EDD, on Facebook, or follow me at Allen Roshonda on Twitter. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns or needs, and you're in the Byron area, please feel free to inbox me, contact me, stop me at the store, stop me in the parking lot. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I will talk to you. I will listen to you, and let's work together to build a better Byron.
Yeah, right. I love it. I love it. Who else? Final word.
Well, I personally want to speak to the locals, to Jackson. From Sunday morning before day to now, there have been at least 8 or 9 homicides here in Jackson. Mm-hmm. And from the first of the year to Sunday, A family member of mine happened to be that number 7 homicide due to the unnecessary and the senseless shooting here that is taking place in Jackson, Mississippi. I know that it takes a village to raise a child, and the villages are so far in between at this day and time. So, my hope and my prayer is that those who are able and those who can, that begin to revitalize the villages. I understand that there is a generational gap, and to me, that it's a curse. That gap has caused additional divide on top of divide, and our people are suffering from it. So I just want to ask everyone out there to go into prayer, into meditation, whatever your thing is. Go into that for the city of Jackson. Go into it for the minds of the people. This city has so much greatness that it's obvious that the enemy is trying to just tear it down and take over. But I declare and decree the devil is a lie. I declare and decree the devil is a liar.
Yes.
And it is up to us. It is up to us that we keep our feet on the devil's head here in Jackson. So just keep that in mind. Those of you who can, those of you who will, think about revitalizing the village, because that is what it takes. There's so much negative. I rather discuss all positive, because there's so much negative. It's everywhere you turn, there's negative. So I rather focus on the positive things like this platform. Also, a new platform that's Dr. J is bringing to the forefront with We Believe podcast. It's gonna be awesome. So Jackson, Mississippi, we have to do better. If we can and we know, let's do better. My prayers and condolences goes out to all of the families that are out there. My family, for one, of course. And as RuPaul said, people have so much to say about LGBTQ community, but as he said, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? So those are my final thoughts. That is for Jackson. Jackson, Mississippi is my concern. So yeah. My prayers and condolences to all the families. Keep your head up. Know that God is first. God does not make any mistakes. In anything that goes on, he doesn't make any mistakes. There is always a reason for the season. So just put God first and keep believing. Because if I believe and you believe,
and
we believe.
Yes. I love it.
Thank you.
Carol, you up?
Awesome. I just want to piggyback off what he said, especially dealing with trauma. We have an upcoming workshop that is actually helping teachers learn how to train in teaching and being involved, especially with students and adults during this time, especially COVID and high crime. And it's just not in Jackson, it's everywhere. I just think that Jackson gets the soft end of the stick because they always reporting it to the news. But trauma happens. And I just want to call to community organizers or those community organizations that are working in the community to think about really putting a pin in training key stakeholders in the community on how to better cope and train others to deal with trauma. Even in a circle where trauma is actually induced in, if we don't ever receive help for that, we never understand how to go through that grieving and that hurt process, that trauma just keeps recycling. And so I would really love for some elected officials, especially people who have a pen in making that change, to put together a support team, to be able to go in some of the communities and just train. And just think about, teachers have direct contact with students, and sometimes we face trauma, and then we have students who are facing trauma. Just imagine if we don't receive that support. And then when I say support, mental health counseling or ways to cope with things that are very barren for us to cope with. Again, especially during COVID and all of the deaths that are not, we don't foresee, that's all trauma. And especially with the crime, that's all trauma. And we're just recycling it because nobody's really dealing with or talking about it. So just how do we begin that? And again, calling on those community leaders who can have a pen and putting those projects together. We really need clinicians or mental health providers at the table when we're discussing just rebuilding and revitalizing a community. And that's all I have to say.
It's on you, Stephanie.
Hey, I definitely want to piggyback off of everything that's been said. There's so much going on in our communities, especially here in the Mississippi area, because that's where we live. Like Carol said, it's happening everywhere. But how do we nurture that which we experience here at home in the state of Mississippi? What we're doing at Lifestyle Education and Resource Services is that we're offering a depression and anxiety recovery support to those who are putting this effort toward staying encouraged. We talked about accessing what's happening, really what's going on, and processing that and backing up and taking stock of how we really feel and what we're really experiencing, and considering choices that are healthy and nurturing to ourselves and those around us, and making sound decisions. And sometimes that takes dealing with the trauma, with the pain, with the conflict, with the anger, with the rage. And so we are offering a depression and anxiety recovery support starting February the 2nd. And we would love for you to be a part of our confidential group that offers support as you traverse these waters during this time. You don't have to do it alone, and we're going to all have to come together. Being angry is not the only emotion. Being enraged, but it is a real emotion. So there are resources in our communities that offer support, and we just got to make those resources accessible to all of us. And so want to encourage our community to stay encouraged, encourage one another to peace, to goodwill, to health, and let's come together. Next month, we're offering Lifestyle Education and Resource Services. We'll be engaging in our annual giving, because we have a mentorship program where we mentor young people 8th through 12th grade and encouraging them academically, helping them to develop career and college plans for their lives, and helping them to have prospects for their future and begin to develop that sense of hope about their lives and how to navigate through tough waters as they continue to grow and as they come closer to graduation. So we definitely are looking for support in that. And as a community, if we come together, great things will happen. Not can happen, but will happen. I believe in us. I believe in the great state of Mississippi and all the great things that we're doing here. I believe in the greatness of all the people that live here. We can do it. And it's just about coming together and taking it one step at a time and doing that next right thing.
Again, how can they join or find out more information about LERS?
You can go to our website at www.lersconsultation.com.
All righty. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all tuning in to A View from the SIP. You know, I believe that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So even the things that we don't want to go through, the things we don't want to see, the things we don't want to be a part of, is still working out for our good. You know, we had 4 years of Donald Trump. And now we are in a new era, and I'm just excited about what's to come. And so, you know, I think we should also be excited and be hopeful. You know, I think as a man think it in his heart, so is he. And so we just have to be mindful and know that God is with us, God is for us. And if he's in us, you know, we can't fail. You know, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So when the enemy start coming up against us, so we're going to use the tool that we know, which is the word, to fight the enemy. So we just appreciate people watching us. We want you all, don't be tired and weary. You know, he tell us to come to him and he will give us rest. And so I just believe that, you know, now's the time for us to just have a real relationship with God, and that's where a lot of this healing can begin, so that the discrimination and hate and racism can begin to heal, and for us to have those tough conversations. So this is a great platform for us to do that. I'm excited about us moving to the We Believe digital network. And so on next week, we're going to try to make that move. And so we're excited about just being in a new studio on a new platform where we will be able to broadcast live to Apple TV, Amazon, Roku TV. You can be able to listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify. If you have the Fire Stick, we'll be available on the Fire Stick, Facebook, YouTube, and it's about 3 or 4 other platforms. And so I'm just excited to bring something new and fresh to Jackson, Mississippi. So make sure you all go and check out. What you about to say, Jay?
And don't forget, we'll be seen and heard in 149 what countries? Hello?
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Baby, they gonna be saying a view from the silk in Chinese.
China. We're gonna have friends in Japan, in name some countries, Switzerland. Yes. That's right. France, Germany. So we're just excited about what God is about to do in our lives. And that's right. Italy, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And we're going to be back next week with a brand new show, brand new feel. I'm excited. All righty, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Great show, everyone.
Great job.
Great job.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
to stay informed about what's happening right